Hello, my name is Avery Taylor, and today I'll be ranking the top 34 shortstops in all of baseball. If you enjoy this sort of content, please be sure to hit subscribe, and let's go ahead and get right into the video. At number 34, I have St. Louis Cardinals shortstop Mason Wynn. Mason Wynn's time in the major leagues has been nothing short of dreadful. He has 2 homers, 12 RBIs, a 467 OPS, as well as a negative defender and a -1 DRS, accumulating -0.6 WAR. He hasn't been the player that he's been hyped up as a prospect. We obviously know the tools this guy has. Just needs to put it more together consistently for me to rank him higher. At number 33 is a player who fell from grace pretty hard this past season. That is Tim Anderson of the Chicago White Sox. Tim Anderson, we all know he's been terrible with the glove his entire career. And this year, the bat finally fell through. You see that with soft contact type hitters a lot. They really rely on average, and that just simply wasn't there this year. Finished with 1 homer, 25 RBIs, a 582 OPS. Again, not good fielding, -16 DRS, and accumulated -2 WAR across the full season. At number 32, I have the Oakland Athletics shortstop, Aledmus Diaz, who is projected to be started by Fangraphs. It really doesn't matter who you kind of put from the Oakland Athletics onto this list. They're probably going to end up towards the bottom around this spot, just because they don't have a lot of guys. Diaz last year finished with 4 homers, 24 RBIs, a 616 OPS. Was a very bad defender as well, with a -9 DRS and a -0.9 WAR overall. Just no matter who the Oakland Athletics put in, unless they sign a guy, but that's not going to happen because it's the Oakland Athletics, they're just not in the good spot. At number 31 is another player who fell from grace pretty hard, and that is Javier Baez, the shortstop for the Detroit Tigers. Javier Baez finished the year with 9 homers, 59 RBIs, a 593 OPS, all while his glove isn't looking like that gold glover that we once knew, only finishing with a 2 DRS and accumulating 0.6 WAR across the full season. Just not a great year from Javier Baez, and it just seems like he just doesn't care that much about, trying to win because he's with the Detroit Tigers, and he's just kind of there just to earn his paycheck. At number 30 is more of a utility man, but he spent the majority of the time at shortstop. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, it is Enrique Hernandez. He finished the year with 11 homers, 61 RBIs, a 646 OPS, all while being a -6 DRS type defender at shortstop. Again, if he's valued as a utility guy, he probably goes up a little bit higher, but just looking at him solely as a shortstop, he just doesn't provide much value for a team, and that's just kind of what the type of player he is at this point in his career. At number 29, I have another rookie who really didn't see that much playing time, and that is Brian Rocchio of the Cleveland Guardians. Brian was somebody that we didn't get to see a whole lot of, and it's really hard to take much away from a stat line. I'll read it to you anyway. He had 0 homers, 8 RBIs, a 600 OPS, all while accumulating 2 DRS and a 0.1 WAR. While you don't want to take too much from a small sample size, it does kind of paint the picture of who he is as a player. Coming up, the bat was always the question mark. Defensively, he'll be good, but we just need to see that bat come along before I can put him much higher onto the list. At number 28, you have the player he presumably replaced, and that is Gabriel Arias, also of the Cleveland Guardians. He finished the year with 10 homers, 26 RBIs, a 628 OPS, 0 DRS, meaning he was league average, with a -0.1 WAR. You can see why the Guardians kind of wanted to replace this guy, just because he doesn't really do anything at an elite level that really adds value to your team. And he just kind of is a stopgap guy until you get a better guy in there. At number 27, we have a former Cleveland Guardians shortstop who made the move to Los Angeles at the trade deadline, Amed Rosario. Amed Rosario finished the year with 6 homers, 58 RBIs, a 683 OPS, but was atrocious in the field with a -16 DRS and a 0.4 WAR because of that. Amed Rosario, there isn't much to say. He's really offensive oriented, and whenever the offense isn't there, he just is a bad player overall, and that's why you find himself down here at number 27. At number 26, I have the Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Taylor Walls. We all kind of understand why Wander Franco isn't being ranked and why Taylor Walls is now the main man in Tampa Bay. Taylor Walls finished the year with 8 homers, 36 RBIs, a 638 OPS, all while accumulating 2 DRS and 2 WAR. So he's a plus defender, has some room to grow with the bat. I always want to give Tampa Bay their due respect, and just somehow they'll turn this guy into a star. I don't understand how, but somehow it'll happen. and I'll look foolish, but for right now, he's here at number 26. At number 25 is another rookie that saw very little playing time, and we're just kind of having to go off projection as well as what we saw in limited time. And that is Marco Luciano of the San Francisco Giants. He finished the year with no homers, no ribbies, a 641 OPS, all while being a slightly below average defender with a -1 DRS and accumulated zero point 0.1 WAR. Marco Luciano was a weird prospect coming up. You either loved him or you hated him, and he just kind of didn't show a whole lot while he was in the majors. Had a 641 OPS, so not great, but again, it was so small of a sample, it's hard to take much from it. I'm going to go ahead and bet on the upside and have him here at number 25. At number 24 is another Los Angeles Dodgers shortstop, and that is Miguel Rojas, who was actually a really great defender last year. Finished year with a 12 DRS. Offensively, still room to grow. 5 homers, 31 RBIs, a 612 OPS, and a 1.2 WAR. Just a fine defensive first shortstop. Nothing too much to write home about here. Trevor Story is a really hard player for me to find a spot for just because offensively, since he's been in Boston, we all know, has not been great, but it's also been hard for him to find consistent playing time and really get into a groove for the Boston Red Sox. He finished here with 3 homers, 14 RBIs, a 566 OPS, all while being actually a really good defender with an 8 DRS in limited time and accumulated 0.8 WAR. If we can even find a fraction of the player he was offensively in Colorado, I think we're having a completely different discussion, especially if he can put together a full season or something close to it. At number 22, I think we see a significant jump in player quality in terms of production last season, and that is starting with Zach Neto of the Los Angeles Angels. He finished the year with 9 homers, 34 RBIs, 685 OPS, all while being a plus defender with 3 DRS and a 1.6 WAR. It is really fun, I must say, to watch this guy connect whenever he has that super high leg kick and he just drives one out. But he needs to find a little bit more consistency with the offensive bat before I can really launch him up this list. At number 21, I have the Arizona Diamondbacks starting shortstop, presumably, and that is Geraldo Perdomo, who finished the year with 6 homers, 47 RBIs, a 712 OPS, wasn't the greatest in the field with a -3 DRS and a 2.3 WAR overall. Again, just a fine player, and we're really just kind of wait to see how long he can hold back Jordan Lawler, who is the Diamondbacks' one of their top prospects and has been for some time. At number 20, we have a player that took a big step back in 2023, maybe due to injury, maybe not, we don't know, but as Carlos Correa of the Minnesota Twins. He finished the year with 18 bombs, 65 RBIs, a 711 OPS, all while not being that great of a defender with a -2 DRS, accumulating 1.4 WAR. He really just wasn't the player that we're used to seeing, being up easily in that top 10, closer to top 5 range. He just wasn't like that, and he didn't really seem to have that explosiveness that we're used to seeing him. And that might have been due to those lingering injuries that were a concern for a lot of teams back whenever he was trying to find that big contract. At number 19, we have a player that really took me by surprise, and that is Ezekiel Tovar of the Colorado Rockies. He is a great defender in Colorado, finished with a 13 DRS, had 15 bombs as well, 73 RBIs, a 695 OPS, and a 2.5 WAR. The reason he's not a little bit higher on this list is it concerns me that he isn't hitting the greatest while in Colorado. We know Colorado boosts these numbers up even further, so I'd like to see the offensive game come up a little bit. And if it does, and if he can find success, especially outside of Coors, this would be a great shortstop in the making. And I'm hoping he can, so I can shoot him up this list a little bit further. At number 18, we have a player that feels like he kind of turned a corner this season. That is CJ Abrams of the Washington Nationals. Finished the year with 18 bombs, 64 RBIs, a 712 OPS, all while having a plus defensive season as well, with a 4 DRS accumulating 3.4 WAR. Not to mention he has great speed to go on top of that. So if he can continue to improve mainly the offensive aspect of his game, the defense is there, speed's there, offense can come along a little bit further. This guy has the chance to skyrocket up this list. Absolutely great talent. Hopefully he can continue to improve his game and make himself a more valuable guy, and he can hopefully lead the Nationals back to some sort of competition. And number 17, we have the shortstop for the team that the Nationals would be competing with, and that is the Atlanta Braves, who have Orlando Arcia at their starting shortstop spot. We all know the attaboy, but he didn't have the worst year ever, even though his playoff performance was rather poor. Finished the year with 17 bombs, 65 RBIs, a 741 OPS. Not the greatest defender, -6 DRS. Finished the year with a 1.6 WAR. Again, fine, not great player, and he really he stepped out of line with those comments, even though they were behind closed doors and they should have been kept private. But you know, he kind of became the spokesperson to the Atlanta Braves' demise last season. At number 16, I have a player I don't think gets enough respect, and that is John Birdie of the Miami Marlins. Another guy that's kind of more utility man than true shortstop, but absolutely had a great season last year by all accounts. 7 homers, 33 RBIs, a 748 OPS. Was okay at the position of 1 DRS, finished here with a 2.4 WAR. I'm not saying he's a superstar by any means, but he's a solid player, and I don't think he, even a lot of people probably wouldn't know his name or know that he's even decent. So I think he kind of gets underrated a good bit, and I have him here at number 16. Another player that was really tough to rank just because we didn't really see all too much of him, and that is Ezekiel Duran of the Texas Rangers. Obviously filled in for Corey Seager during his time off, and as well as positional needs whenever they needed it. Finished year with 14 homers, 46 RBIs, a 768 OPS, 0 DRS, so he was league average, and a 0.9 WAR. Just a fine player. Obviously, he's young, filled in for Corey Seager, did a great job in that time. I would love to see him actually get a chance to be a full-time starter somewhere, but for right now, he's doing a great job just kind of filling the role that he needs to. At number 14, we have a player that's based off projection more so than actual true results, and that is Elly De La Cruz of the Cincinnati Reds. Finished the year with 13 bombs, 44 RBIs, a 710 OPS. Wasn't a good defender, -5 DRS, and accumulated .8 WAR across his time in the majors. We all know how this guy broke the MLB whenever he came up, hit for the cycle. He was stealing home. He was stealing all the bases. He really just looked like a superstar in the making. But as the season went on, teams kind of figured him out, and it kind of went down the crapshoot, to be honest. He really did not look good over the second, stint of his time in the MLB. And I'm just making this based off the projection that he can kind of figure it out. But I wanted to be a little bit hasty with it and put him here at number 14. At number 13, I had to clump these two players together, and that is the Pittsburgh Pirates' Cruz O'Neal. He finished the year at 0.2 WAR, 1 homer, 4 RBIs, 750 OPS, and a -1 DRS. He broke the internet in a different way. Based off his slide at home plate early on in the season, we all know it caused a big controversy. Who was at fault just because of the huge brawl that ensued afterwards? Um, I'm not gonna say it wasn't his fault, but it was kind of his fault. But anyway, we all know the power and the superstar factor that this guy has, and I think he's just proven a little bit more at the MLB level than Elly De La Cruz. But there's not much that I can say on this just because neither player has played a whole lot. I was really looking forward to seeing Cruz for a full season last year, and it just got kind of taken away. At number 12, I have a player that really showed some great signs in his rookie season last year, and that is Anthony Volpe of the New York Yankees. He finished the year with 21 bombs, which was great. It is Yankee Stadium, but still, 21 bombs was good. 60 RBIs, a 666 OPS. But most importantly, his glove absolutely stuck at the position. 15 DRS and a 3.3 WAR. Absolutely looks like a future cornerstone piece for the Yankees. Hopefully, he can find a little bit more consistency with the bat, but absolutely phenomenal player. Looked great in his rookie year. Player who really didn't take the step up that I think a lot of people that were looking for was Jeremy Pena of the Houston Astros. By all means, he was fine. Great season by most standards. Had 10 homers, 52 RBIs, a 705 OPS, all while playing great defense at the position with a 7 DRS and a 3.8 WAR. But by no means was he the superstar that I think a lot of people saw whenever they were watching the playoffs in 2022, which is unfortunate, but I think this is more of a reasonable expectation of Jeremy Pena. He's probably doesn't have superstar status, and he's more just in this range and just had a good postseason. But, I'll remain jury out on this one just to kind of see, but I think this is more about where Jeremy Pena should be at number 11. At number 10, I have the Milwaukee Brewers shortstop Willie Adames. Finished year with 24 bombs, 80 RBIs, a 717 OPS, all while playing great defense at 8 DRS and a 3 WAR. Again, just another season of Willie Adames being a solid offensive option, solid defensive option. Not spectacular just because he doesn't have that consistency on the offensive side, but he's going to be a good to great shortstop for you season in, season out, but never kind of break into that elite tier. That elite tier sort of starts here at number 9, in my opinion, and that is Trey Turner of the Philadelphia Phillies. We all know the story. His season was a tale of basically the first 4 months versus the last two. Trey Turner finished with 26 bombs, 76 RBIs, a 778 OPS, negative 12 DRS. He's not good in the field whatsoever, and accumulated 3.4 WAR. So whenever you have a great offensive player and bad defensive player, and he looked bad for the majority of the month, kind of why I held him behind some of these other guys. Obviously, I know he'll probably will be better than them next season, but for right now, I have him here at number 9. At number 8, I have San Diego Padres shortstop Xander Bogaerts, who's been doing this for a long time. 19 bombs, 58 RBIs, a 790 OPS. Made good strides with his defense, still not good, but he's improved greatly. Negative 4 DRS, a 4.4 WAR across the whole season. So again, great offense, bad defense, was a little bit better over the course of the full season than Trey Turner, and that's why I have him up here. And he played, honestly, significantly better defense. Still not good defense, but better defense than Trey Turner as well. At number 7, I have the absolute opposite of the last two players, and that's Dansby Swanson of the Chicago Cubs. Finished the year with 22 bombs, 80 RBIs, which are good counting stats, but didn't have a good OPS. 744, really close to league average, but 18 DRS is where he makes his money. Absolutely phenomenal on the defensive side, and finished with a 4.8 WAR off the back of that. Absolutely just another great season from Dansby Swanson, and hopefully we can see that bat kind of make a return in the next few seasons as he kind of progresses his time in Chicago. What a great year from the number 6 spot, Bobby Witt Jr., finally having his breakout year in Kansas City. Finished with 30 homers, 96 RBIs, and 813 OPS. Was not good in the field, negative 6 DRS. You'd like to see that improve as he kind of goes on. Finished with a 4.4 WAR. I absolutely could see this guy flying up this list even further if he continues to improve his game, because this could just be the beginning for the young superstar in Kansas City. At number 5, we have a player that completely reversed his game in 2023. Previously, J.P. Crawford was known as a defense-first shortstop that if the bat ever came around, he would be great. And then he just gave up on playing defense this year to hit really well with 19 bombs, 65 RBIs, and 818 OPS. Not good in the field, negative 3 DRS. Obviously not the worst, but not good. Finished with a 5.1 WAR. I think that's enough to solidify him in the 5th spot. I know he didn't hit a lot of home runs, but it's Seattle. It's hard to hit home runs in Seattle. And he put up great numbers with an 818 OPS, was really consistent the whole year. And I think he kind of deserves this number 5 spot. It's been a long time coming for JP Crawford. At number 4, we have another player that kind of just did it the whole year, did a consistent job, and he's always going to put up great numbers, and that is Bo Bichette of the Toronto Blue Jays. Finished with 20 bombs, 73 RBIs, and 814 OPS, and he surprisingly played good defense, a 5 DRS, finished the year with 4.9 WAR. Again, good offense, good defense. I think he played better defense than JP Crawford. Not a sentence I thought I would ever say, but here we are, and I think that earns him the number 4 spot. At number 3, I have New York Mets shortstop Francisco Lindor. I'm so glad Lindor is back to being superstar status like he was in his early days in Cleveland. I'm so happy we're back to seeing 30 bombs, 806 OPS, and 98 RBIs, all while playing great defense still, 7 DRS, accumulated 6 WAR across the season. There's nothing really bad to take away from his game. I just think that the guys above him had a little bit more impact across the season, and obviously their teams had more success. So I think that's kind of what held him back. I think the other guys just slightly outperformed him. At number 2, I have the Baltimore Orioles rookie, Gunnar Henderson. which is crazy to me because he's probably going to get moved off of the position sometime in this season. But Gunnar Henderson was fantastic as a rookie in 2023. 28 bombs, 82 RBIs, and 814 OPS, all while being a great defender with a 10 DRS, 6.2 WAR across the season. Just absolutely phenomenal from the rookie. And there's nothing, again, that you can really negatively take away. Obviously, he's going to get moved for Jackson Holiday. Jackson Holiday is going to come up. He's probably going to shift over to third base. That makes the most sense, but it's just a matter of when they pull the trigger on that move. And finally, you have to put him at one. There's no debate, no question about it. Corey Seager, coming off his World Series MVP performance, has to be number one. He was phenomenal all season. Had the early part of the year missed due to injury, but came back on fire and still managed to outperform all the other guys on this list by a wide margin. Had 33 bombs, 96 RBIs, a 1,013 OPS, all while playing good defense with a 5 DRS and a 6.9 WAR. Just absolutely phenomenal season, top to bottom from Corey Seager. And honestly, if he had played the full season and Shohei Ohtani didn't exist, he's probably the MVP runaway favorite. Just absolutely great season from Corey Seager. And hopefully nobody disagrees with that one at the number one spot. If you enjoyed this sort of video, please be sure to subscribe. Comment down below. I know you guys have already feverishly typing at me, telling me how stupid I am. But that's okay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day and holiday season.